So casting, this was quite interesting. So I did a lot of the casting, but Lala was also our casting director, right? But the thing is, I already sort of started the production with specific people in mind. Let me explain. Let's start with Osas. Osas, as far as I'm concerned, was God ordained to play Zuri. Why? Because even before I knew that I was going to make this into a movie or TV series, while I was writing the book, and I mean sitting in my pajamas and trying to imagine who would play Zuri in a movie, because that helps with the writing process, I used to think, Osas Ighodaro. She's cute, beanie girl, tall, beautiful. I feel like that's Zuri, right? So fast forward to maybe like a year after I'd written the book, she sends me a text one evening and says, hey, Arese, I just finished reading The Small Money Woman, and I just wanted to say, if you ever think about making this into a movie, please consider me. And I was like, wow. If only you knew that when I was writing this book, I was thinking about you for a series. And at the time, I had started thinking about the possibility of maybe making it a movie, but I hadn't made a decision. But what was so great about Osas was, as soon as I said I was doing this, maybe around 2018, I was definitely doing this, but I was still at the exploratory stage. She would check in with me, how far, how's it going? Have you found funding for it? Do you need help with anything? She was basically like holding my hand throughout the process. She was so sweet. And Osas is such a positive person. Like, she brings such positive vibes to every set. Like, I'm not even joking. When you talk about an actress that has zero diva in her, it is the most amazing thing. Even when she was stressed, I only had to bribe her with like spa treatments and things like that, and she would just, be on her A game. Osas spoke life into this project, from the very beginning. And one of the things that I loved was how, even if it scared me a bit because it kind of put me under pressure a little bit, but she kind of spoke life into this whole Netflix thing. Because obviously at the time we were shooting, and I was like, yeah, we're shooting for Netflix. Hopefully we're shooting with Netflix in mind. But it was kind of a whisper because it was something that we hoped for, but not something that we knew, could really happen. But Osas, when the whole cast was tired, she'd be like, guys, we're shooting for Netflix. If she was sleeping in the middle of, waiting for her scene, she'd wake up, Netflix, guys, we're shooting for Netflix. Like, she really manifested this. She spoke life into this, and I'll always be grateful for her. Like, all the cast members treated like this was their baby as well. And I was so grateful. So grateful. Osas can sleep in between sets, in between takes. Is so funny. We need to find videos of her sleeping, TK. So I remember one night, but the girl is such a hard worker. Oh my days. I remember one night we had shot for such a long time, and we probably stopped shooting like really late at night, and we shot in my house that day. So I'd gone to bed, but I woke up in the middle of the night to go and get water in the kitchen, and I hear someone in the living room, and I put on the lights, and it's Osas dozing. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, what have we done to this girl? She didn't care. Early hours, late nights, she was there. Thanks, Osas. You're amazing. You're a trooper. Ini Dimma Okoje. Ini I first saw when I watched this YouTube show, and I just fell in love with her. Like, I loved her character. I was like, oh my God, I can see this person being a star, right? That was the only thing I had seen her in, but I just loved her performance in it for some reason. And I would run into her. I think after that I started following her on Instagram, and then I would run into her at events, and I'm like, oh my God, when I eventually make Small Money Woman into a movie or a TV series, I really want you to be Tammy. I could so see you as Tammy. And she'd be like, yeah, polite. But when it was actually becoming a real thing, after Ini read the book, she called me and she was like, actually, you know, I've just been saying, hey, yes, I'll play it. But after reading it, like, I really love Tammy's character. And I think she had just played something that was super heavy and took a lot of energy out of her. And she was really excited to play a part that was light and fun. And oh my goodness, she played with the fashion so much. One day we were on set, I think we were shooting in Arese's studio, which was Tammy's studio. The outfit that she was meant to be wearing in the scene was like leather shorts and a white t-shirt. Anyway, let me tell you that Ini was like, Arese, can I do something with this thing? And this girl took a pair of scissors and cut the shirt into or something, like redesigned it, restyled herself with the pink hair and everything. It was so cute. But I loved how invested, you know, she was in making sure that Tammy's character came to life in a certain way, like that she was fun, that she was flirty, she was fashionable, and Ini really, like, she was very involved with like her wardrobe and just even scripting and making sure that her character was conveying, you know, what we needed it to convey. And I think I will always be very proud of how collaborative I was with my cast, because I gave them leeway to sort of like contribute to the script. So if you felt like something didn't feel, you know, true to the character, we would discuss it. Or you thought, oh, maybe we needed to add XYZ, you know, we would discuss it. So it was a very collaborative effort. I loved working with Ini so much. She was such a fun, you know, person to work with. I really enjoyed that. Now, Tony Tones plays Lara. Lara, I initially wanted to be light-skinned, slim, thick, because that's how I wrote her in the book. But when Tony expressed an interest in being in this project, I was like, you know what, maybe that's a part that, you know, she could play. But it took me a while to sort of let go of my idea of Lara in my head and how I'd created this character, and, you know, how people had fallen in love with how she was written in the book. And I wasn't sure if she would depict that, right? But I knew, listen, she's a great actress. I had seen her in King of Boys. I was obsessed with, you know, her acting skills. And I was just like, okay, do you know what? Let me just let this go. It's fine if the actual character in the movie doesn't look exactly how, you know, she's described in the book. Another thing I was worried about with working with Tony was we've actually known each other for a really long time, like since we're in university. So when I think when I was in uni in England and she was in Lancaster, we had a lot of friends in common. We used to go to the same parties, we used to, you know, hang out. But this process definitely made us closer. And I think my misgiving at first was maybe, you know how it is when you work with people that have known you for a really long time, they might want to take the piss, right? Like, I said, my friend. But we had a conversation about it, and she was like, I know this is your baby. I know this is work and all of that, so there's no friend here. We will work well together. And she was one of the best decisions that I made, because Tony, you know, with production stuff, like, she would help me and say, oh, maybe we should do this. Maybe this could be better. Oh, you have to watch out for that. She was very collaborative. She added so much, you know, to the process, and she killed the character Lara. And one of my favorite things was Tony Toes should actually be an acting coach as well. She helped me with a lot of, like, you know, maybe some of the smaller characters, like trying to like coach them to get, you know, the scene or to get like the character. It was very helpful, and I'm just so grateful. She killed the part. And she was also Zakara's acting coach. Yes, my daughter makes a debut as an actress in the series. So thank you, Tony Tones. You were absolutely amazing. Like, your dedication to your craft is just something that is beyond amazing to watch. Lala was basically Superwoman on this project. Like, I will always be grateful for her. And I don't even know how she wore all the multiple hats that she wore, because she played Arese. She was also a producer. She was also casting director, and just dealing with my bullshit on a day-to-day basis. But I loved her depiction of Adesua so much. Like, this girl would kill her scenes. I can't wait for you to see how she depicts Adesua. Even if I was in a meeting, she'll send me screenshots of like her scenes and everything. Like, she was amazing, and I will never figure it out how she would take off her producer hat, be in front of the camera, and absolutely kill her scenes. In fact, some of Lala's scenes, I was just like, I feel like my DP Femi is showing favoritism, because some of her shots are amazing, and yeah, she killed it. I loved working with her. So Ebenezer came to audition for the part of Ladun. Now, remember that initially Ladun was supposed to be dark-skinned and voluptuous and, you know, on the bigger side. So that is what I was looking for. But since we had, you know, switched Lara to a darker-skinned, like brown-skinned, slimmer person, I wanted Ladun to be light-skinned and, you know, fuller. So different people came to audition for the part, but Lala had recommended Ebenezer, and I feel like she had even done a reading with us, like a table reading with us earlier on in the process. So at first I was like, oh God, she's not big enough. Like, I want a really big and fabulous like person to play this. In fact, in my head, it was going to be like Peace Hyde, but Peace Hyde does not want to act. I tried to bribe her. But Ebenezer was absolutely amazing. Like, she blew us away during the casting process. When she came to read with Bode, it was amazing. Like, and I was like, okay, I love her acting. She's bringing a really fun vibe. Like, she has the Ladun fabulous personality. And yeah, it was amazing to work with her. And she had been in numerous, you know, things on Africa Magic. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. So the quest to find Shola was its own headache. I'm pretty sure that we had a special casting for the part of Shola. Now, the challenge is, in the book, Shola is written as this tall, dark, handsome, beard gang, you know, amazing, intelligent guy. And I wanted a new face. Like, I didn't want like an old Nollywood face. Like, I wanted someone fresh, you know, to play this part. So we did a whole Finding Shola thing, did a special casting for it. Man, at some point I was so sure that we were not going to find, you know, what we wanted, but magically we found Eso, and he did such a good job of bringing the character to life. I feel like he's going to get even more fangirls after, you know, this airs on Netflix. So thank you, Eso, for bringing Shola to life. So Seun Ajayi plays the part of Soji. I'm actually quite afraid for Seun when this thing comes out, because Soji already has a lot of haters from the book. All the people in the book community that have read, you know, everything that happened with Adesua and Soji are kind of like, this guy is an asshole. So I felt like he was going to be somebody, you know, to hate on the show. But see, Seun is such an amazing actor. And the funny thing is, the first time I ever met him was at IFAN's premiere for, I think, Lotana. And I think we're all taking pictures at some point outside, and he walks up to me and says to me, oh, hey, I read your book because my girlfriend read the book and she loved it, and, you know, all of that. And we have a whole conversation about the book and how much he loves the book, and his girlfriend loves the book. His girlfriend, now wife, by the way. And it was just amazing. Like, so when I saw him again, I was like, oh, he's definitely going to play something, you know, on this show. And he auditioned, and audition was just amazing. The chemistry between him and Lala on screen as Soji and Adesua is just beyond amazing. I think that Seun is such an amazing actor. Like, I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Like, he's such an amazing actor. Carrie B, oh my God, he's so quiet and so soft-spoken and just such a great guy. Like, he just does his work and goes. I really enjoyed working with him, and immediately, like, you know, he came for the casting. It was very clear that he was going to be Bode because he just gave the right vibes. And again, the chemistry between him and Ebby on screen was absolutely amazing. And we could even tell already from, you know, when they were doing like the table reading and the casting and all of that, like it just worked. And that couple was so important to me because Adeswa and Soji had such a kind of negative marriage with the whole Yoruba demon type thing. I needed Bode and Ladun to sort of embody like a great couple, like people who don't have perfect lives, who have gone through hard things, but deal with it as a team, like regardless. And I feel like they really did a great job. I really enjoyed, you know, working with Caribe. Timini, star boy. So that's my G for life. We had several conversations about me like making this, you know, movie or making this series like over a period of time. Like I would run lots of stuff by him. In fact, when I was writing my book, I would send him chapters to read or say, oh, what do you think about this storyline and things like that. So he was very invested. But even if I wanted to work with him, I couldn't see him having chemistry with Osas as the lead. But when we were on the writers' retreat, right, at Lakoe, I get a message from Timini and he's like, just as you're at that your writers' retreat, she just know that it will not be good if your guy is not in this TV series, because you cannot be saying that we're friends and blah blah blah. And I was like, actually, if you guys know how I feel about my friends, then you know why this was like important to me. And I was like, actually, do you know what? Yes, he can be one of Innie's love interests and we'll make it work. So we literally created Bobby's character while we were at that retreat. In fact, I credit Tunu for creating Bobby's character, and he's so hilarious. And Timini brought his A game. I don't know what he ate or drank the days that we were shooting, but he had all of us in stitches. Like, my DOP almost dropped the camera at one point because he was laughing so hard. And it's so funny because when other people read Bobby, they were like, are you sure you want Timini to play this part? Because he's a great actor, but he's not a funny guy. And this guy is written, you know, as a funny guy. But boy, he killed it. The club scene is so funny. Like, his interpretation of Bobby was just epic. Like, I can now not see it in any, you know, other way. So we did not need a comedian. Africa's best actor, you know, played the part, and I'm just so proud of him. And yes, he committed to this character so much, and because he's my friend, I know he doesn't do this on other productions, he styled himself for Bobby. And he was on point with it. I can't wait for you guys to experience this character. It was amazing. Eku, you know, I've known from around, you know, socially, and I don't know, for some reason, Banke was Eku in my head. Like, I just thought, I feel like Eku would kill this part because she's like, you know, sophisticated, has her nose up in the air. Banke, I mean, not Eku. But when I told Eku, oh yes, I could see you playing this part, when she saw the part, I remember when we were shooting it, she was like, Arese, you could see me playing this part. Why? I'm nothing like Banke. But also, it was so funny. But she absolutely did an amazing job. I'm so grateful for her for coming on this project and, you know, supporting me. It was amazing. Okay, so the last two people that I really want to talk about are Timisan and Oshua. They are an example of the fact that there are no small parts. It is what you do with it. So Timisan's one was actually quite funny because I had only met him on Instagram. Like, there was this video that he had put on Instagram with his red cup. I think it was spin me, make you sweet me, and that thing like made me laugh so much. Like, I watched that video over and over and over again, and I started following him on Instagram. And I remember having a meeting with Jola at one point, and I was like, see, this boy is so funny, we have to write a part for him, so maybe he can be like a supporting character. So that's how Tejiri happened. but I didn't say anything to him, but I just knew that I wanted someone really funny. I wanted him to play that part. And one day while we're casting or like still going through the casting process, he DMs me and says, please, sis, find a part for me. I said, see you. I already wrote a part for you. He was like, are you serious? I was like, okay, come for an audition. And he came, but he already had the part, to be quite honest, because the part was Tejiri is basically Temi-san, basically. And Oshua as well. Oshua is weird because I'd known her brothers since I was like in high school or college or whatever, but I didn't know her. I didn't know that they had a little sister for some reason. But she comes to this audition and she's so shy and so cute. And I'm like, you're killing it. Why are you shy? Own it, honey, own it. And she absolutely killed it. I enjoyed working with her, and so much that, we're working on something else together, another show. But the thing I learned with casting was who you cast is really important, more than even just, their personality or their followers or the brand that they have, but just in terms of the energy that they bring to set, because production is really stressful. And if you have a bunch of divas or you have a bunch of people who are looking out for their own self-interest as opposed to the interest of the collective, it will be very difficult. I think one of the things I will give myself credit for was I had proper conversations, like one-on-one with each and every one of my main actors. I took them to dinner one-on-one and had full conversations to say, okay, this is my budget, these are my expectations, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is, how I think, we can work together. And, for the most part, I felt like putting that out on the table and having those conversations made the process so much easier. I remember, honestly, just feeling so overwhelmed, by my cast support at one point, because some of these people left other projects that were going to pay them way more to be on The Small Money Woman just because they believed in my vision so much. And I will always, always, always be grateful. I don't take it for granted. They were amazing.